Hey, you Stygian Dogs. Yesterday was Free Comic Book Day, and the 4th was with me. It was a beautiful spring day in Toronto, and I had a chance to visit a few stores, and here's what I grabbed. Barbaric, Born in Blood, Flash Gordon, Johnny Quest, stories from the Atlas Comics Library, Archie Horror presents The Cursed Library, tons of Strange, and Asterix. But here, La Pièce de Résistance, Conan, Battle of the Black Stone, written by Jim Zub, illustrated by Jonas Scharf, with this cover from Roberto de la Torre. Now, Jim Zub let us know that this is a prelude to the Battle of the Black Stone miniseries event, and this will introduce a number of other Robert E. Howard characters, and he also let us know that issue number 4 of The Savage Sword of Conan will serve as a tie-in to the event, and will feature these characters in various ways. We know that the cover from the Free Comic Book Day issue gives us hints as to who is being introduced, based on the presence of a spear, a rapier, a staff, a sword, and a revolver. I'm excited to see who's being introduced, and I have a few different ideas based on this cover illustration. I've reconsidered an earlier guess that was informed by Jim Zub's Conan Serpent War story that had the revolver belonging to James Allison. After reviewing the legend of Robert E. Howard's characters that accompanied Jeffrey Shanks' essay in last year's issue, here's where I stand. Yes, the spear is likely Brule's. I think the rapier and staff are Solomon Kane's. Well, the sword belongs to Bran McMorn. As for the revolver, arrow-wise, it could be Wild Bill Clanton's. While I've not read his stories, I understand that he's not a very admirable hero. So I think I'd have to go with Francis Xavier Gordon, more popularly known as Alborak. After all, he is a Texan gunfighter. I think the fact that we recently got a Heroic Legends Bran McMorn short story and will be getting an Alborak short story later this year supports this guess. And a final hedge. Yes, it could be that the rapier belongs to Dark Agnes, and I can see this as a good opportunity to reintroduce her to readers, though I still lean towards Solomon Kane. I guess we'll know more in a few moments. And for proof of having committed to this guess prior to reading the issue, you can refer to a post on X from Friday. Indeed, I've been advised by Crom that this guess is also incorrect. So rather than offer any other ideas, and I do have other theories, let's just find out, shall we? And here we go. This will be a spoiler-laden look at the short Free Comic Book Day issue. I will read from the text, and you will see illustrations up close. If you didn't grab it on Saturday, May 4th, it will be available on Kindle come May 8th. Last year, Titan had also released a PDF link for direct download. If they do so again for this issue, I'll be sure to include it in the video description. One way or the other, you will be able to inspect it for yourselves at no cost. We see the cover from Roberto de la Torre, Free Comic Book Day, Conan, Battle of the Black Stone, Zub, Scharf, and Canola. On the inside cover, credits for the teams at Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics, and opposite that, the Numidian Chronicles in Robert E. Howard's original text as it appeared in The Phoenix on the Sword in the December 1932 issue of Weird Tales. On the next page, the map of the Hyborian Age from Francesca Barald, and a brief synopsis of past events and Conan's current situation. On the Road of Kings, Conan of Cimmeria has seen much in his years as a reaver and mercenary, yet still some things remain shrouded in dark mystery. In his travels, Conan has come in contact with a malevolent force bound in enigmatic black stone, a power whose influence and malice has followed him through both the Hyborian Age and the swirling mists of time. Now, at an Aquilonian outpost on the edge of the Pictish wilderness, the Cimmerian feels another pulse from that enigmatic power, and with it, the stirring of memories and dangers he'd thought long left in the past. And we begin. I immediately regret changing one of my original guesses as to who we might see in this issue. James Allison, who might be considered a fictional analog to Robert E. Howard, sits at his writing desk, staring at a blank page when a word, a name, spills forth from the locked chambers in his mind, and with it, a terror made manifest. Allison, who I think made his last appearance in Zub's Conan Serpent War, has the ability to travel to different times and incarnations. He's probably best known from the Howard story and its comic form, Valley of the Worm, where he appears in the guise of Njord. Across ages, unbeknownst to all, a war has begun. Battle of the Black Stone. Grim Jim Zub, writer. Jaunty Jonas Scharf, artist. Jumping Joao Canola, color artist. Rascally Rich Starkings letterer, Calamitous Chris Butera editor, and Merciless Matt Murray contributing editor. In this prelude, The Staring Sigil, Conan in battle against some Picts declares, "Flee or face the blade." And the bloody battle continues. Picts against the forces from Fort Tusculum in Conajohara, the newly annexed province of Aquilonia. Conan is the fiercest among them. This would place the story just prior to the events of Robert E. Howard's Beyond the Black River. A behemoth as big as a tree appears. Trees can be cut. And Conan's axe stands at the ready. After the battle, Conan and company wondered just what would cause these Picts to battle with such suicidal fury when Crom's devils. Upon a black stone, Conan spies a sign, a sigil, which shakes him to his very core. A Pictish scout who fought at his side, the Reaper's face neath cursed waters, specters unleashed in Shadazar, and a moment of sacrifice. All sent by the searing black eye, an eye carved in black stone. This, of course, a recap of events from issues 1 through 8 of Conan the Barbarian. And next, the big reveal. He is not the only one to see the sign, the sigil, the symbol, the mark. Its cast is seen and presence felt across time and space. A baleful presence, a promise of power. And the cast is revealed. Solomon Kane, Dark Agnes de Chastillon, El Borak, and Professor John Kirwan. And the final page, James Allison's house, derelict, window, desk, chair smashed, his typewriter and prosthetic leg on the floor. And Brissa, the Pictish scout, stands shadowed in the doorway. And as Jim Zub has let us know, an epic adventure begins in Savage Sword of Conan number 4 and Conan Battle of the Black Stone number 1. And on the opposite page, Conan Battle of the Black Stone, new event starting this fall. So I'm pretty chuffed with my predictions. Dark Agnes is present, so I'm glad I made the hedge there. I'm not surprised to see James Allison, and I had previously predicted that we may see him. I probably second-guessed that, thinking it'd be too obvious, but he is a good tool for this sort of cross-dimensional storytelling. I'm personally not familiar with Professor Kirwan, but I understand that he is an investigator of the occult and is often partnered with John Conrad. He's connected to Conan via Howard's story, The Haunter of the Ring. Indeed, this is Thoth Amon's serpent ring as mentioned in The Phoenix on the Sword. I did successfully guess Solomon Kane, that was pretty obvious, and El Borak, and I totally missed with guessing Bran McMorn. You win some and you lose some. Turning the page, we come to an essay by Jeffrey Shanks, titled Across the Howardverse. The essay is prefaced with the words of James Allison. Each man on earth, each woman, is part and all of a similar caravan of shapes and beings, but they cannot remember. Their minds cannot bridge the brief, awful gulfs of blackness, which lie between those unstable shapes in which the spirit, soul, or ego, in spanning, shakes off its fleshy masks. I remember. Shanks writes how Robert E. Howard had contributed to many genres that were popular when he was writing in the 20s and 30s, and that he has in fact been credited with being the father of several hybrid genres like sword and sorcery and weird westerns. He continues to say that Howard makes it very clear in his stories that most, if not all of his characters exist in the same universe. From barbarian warriors and two-fisted detectives to Texas gunslingers and bloodthirsty pirates, they're all part of this Howardverse. And that this is an exciting opportunity for the teams at Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics to begin to explore these characters that readers may not be familiar with. Shanks reviews Cole, Dark Agnes, Francis Xavier Gordon, El Borak, John Conrad, John Kirwan, and James Allison in his aforementioned backstory. The essay closes with Shanks highlighting how James Allison's fictional reality, bound by his circumstances to his small rural town in Texas, yet free to roam the cosmos of his imagination, paralleled Robert E. Howard's own life. Through his writing, Howard was able to escape his prison to live vicariously through his many characters, slashing, shooting, and fighting his way across his own Howardverse. The essay is accompanied by these wonderful illustrations of the cast of characters: Conan, Brissa, James Allison, Dark Agnes, Solomon Kane, El Borak, John Conrad, and John Kirwan. So many exciting stories yet to be told. And come on, don't you just want to see some more of El Borak? Maybe a movie? After this, an advertisement for John C. Hocking's Conan City of the Dead. This releases in June and contains the previously released Conan and the Emerald Lotus and the all-new sequel Conan and the Living Plague. The cover art is by Jeffrey Allen Love, and the book has interior illustrations from Richard Pace. After that, an ad for CGC grading, and then this, a sneak preview of Doug Braithwaite's work on issue number 13 of Conan the Barbarian. This will be the first part of Frozen Faith, a 4-issue arc that celebrates the 90th anniversary of Robert E. Howard's The Frost Giant's Daughter. And this releases in July. Doug's work on Conan has been exceptional. It's so nice to see his pencils here, and I can't wait for this return. And on the back cover, an ad for The Savage Sword of Conan. Pictured here is Dave Norman's cover for issue number 2. It's a wonderful issue. Jim Zub's Conan story might be one of his best, and Richard Pace's art is such a great pairing for its primal themes. And there we have it, the cast of characters revealed and a tease of what's to come with Jim Zub's Conan Battle of the Blackstone mini-series event arriving in stores in September. Of course, it all kicks off with issue number 4 of The Savage Sword of Conan. Jonas Scharf's art looks great. It's something distinct from what Rob De La Torre and Doug Braithwaite have been giving us, and Joao Canola's colors seem bolder than what we've seen in the ongoing monthly series. I can't wait to check it out. Let me know what you thought of the issue. Again, if you didn't grab a physical copy, you'll be able to get your hands on an electronic version on May 8th or so. Thanks for watching, liking, consider subscribing, and until next time, take it easy, you Stygian Dogs.